A life on the line. The faint hum of medical machinery filled the air, broken only by the soft whirring of ventilators and rhythmic beeping of heart monitors. Neonatal nurse Nia Campbell moved quietly through the bustling neonatal intensive care unit, NICU, her every step filled with calm determination. Her warm, brown eyes swept across the rows of incubators, each holding a life so fragile that even the softest breeze could break it. Despite the long hours, she smiled softly, her exhaustion barely visible behind the aura of patience and compassion she always carried with her. At 34, Nia was no stranger to difficult situations. She had dedicated over a decade of her life to caring for premature and critically ill infants, offering not just her medical expertise, but also the comfort and love these vulnerable souls needed to survive. Today was no different, yet something felt heavier in the air. As Nia passed one particular incubator, her heart clenched. Inside was a baby girl born just 2 days ago, much too early at 28 weeks, weighing barely over 2 pounds. The infant's name was Ella, and she had been fighting for her life since her first breath. Tubes and wires connected her tiny body to machines, keeping her alive. Nia had been on duty when Ella was born, and she had spent every available moment tending to her. Though Ella's parents, Jade and Thomas Ward, had only been able to visit sparingly due to work and financial constraints, their deep love for their child was evident in every tear-filled gaze they gave her. "Good morning, little warrior," Nia whispered as she leaned down to adjust Ella's oxygen line. The baby's chest rose and fell with labored breaths, her underdeveloped lungs fighting every second to take in air. Suddenly, an alarm rang out. Nia's heart dropped. The monitor tracking Ella's oxygen saturation levels flashed dangerously low numbers. Instinctively, Nia moved into action, summoning the rest of the NICU team while she began administering emergency measures. Despite her calm exterior, her mind raced as the baby's oxygen levels continued to plummet. "Stay with me, sweetheart," Nia muttered under her breath, her hands working with precision. In a matter of moments, the room filled with nurses and doctors, all scrambling to stabilize Ella. Nia's pulse quickened, but her hands remained steady as she adjusted the ventilator, manually increasing Ella's oxygen intake. Seconds felt like hours as the baby's condition deteriorated further. Just when it seemed as if the fragile infant might not make it, Nia remembered a rare technique she had learned during a specialized training session years ago. It was risky, but the only option left. She explained her plan to the team, and though there were cautious glances exchanged, they trusted Nia's experience and expertise. With swift, deliberate motions, Nia carefully repositioned Ella and began the technique, adjusting the oxygen delivery system in a way that would force air into her lungs without damaging them. For a terrifying moment, nothing happened. Then, almost miraculously, Ella's oxygen levels began to rise. Slowly, steadily, the baby's breathing became more regular. The beeping of the monitors slowed, signaling that she was stabilizing. The tension in the room dissipated as the team began to relax, though everyone knew how close they had come to losing her. Nia let out a long, relieved breath, her hands trembling now that the crisis had passed. She wiped the sweat from her brow and whispered, "You did it, Ella. You're a fighter." As the rest of the staff filed out, Nia stayed by the baby's side, gently stroking her tiny hand through the opening of the incubator. "You're going to make it," she murmured, her voice filled with a quiet strength that masked the emotion swelling inside her. She had seen far too many battles lost in this unit to take any victory for granted. But today, Ella had won. Later that day, Nia sat in the break room, her head resting in her hands. The adrenaline from the emergency had worn off, leaving her drained. Just as she was about to close her eyes for a moment of rest, she heard the door creak open. Jade and Thomas Ward stood there, looking pale and worn, their eyes red from worry and lack of sleep. They had been notified of the emergency and rushed to the hospital, unsure of what they would find when they arrived. Nia stood up immediately, her exhaustion forgotten. Jade rushed toward her, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you," Jade whispered, her voice cracking as she embraced Nia tightly. "Thank you for saving our baby." Thomas nodded, his eyes glistening with emotion. "We don't even know how to express what this means to us." Nia smiled softly, brushing a tear from her own cheek. "It's my job. Ella is a fighter, and so are you too. She's going to need you more than ever in the days ahead, but she's strong." They stood in silence for a few moments, a shared understanding passing between them. Nia had saved Ella's life, but there was something deeper happening here, a connection forged in the fires of crisis. Jade and Thomas didn't know it yet, but this moment would change all of their lives forever. As the couple left to visit their daughter, Nia sat back down, her heart heavy with emotion. She had done this work for so long that sometimes it felt like the weight of every life she had ever fought for rested on her shoulders. But today, in Ella's tiny fingers and Jade's tearful embrace, Nia felt the weight lift just a little. She hadn't just saved a life, she had saved a family. But little did she know, this family would return to her life in ways she could never have predicted. The ripples of gratitude. Months had passed since that fateful day in the NICU, and little Ella had continued to fight valiantly for her life. Each week, her condition improved under the watchful eye of her dedicated medical team. But no one was more attentive than Nia Campbell. As one of the senior nurses, she checked on Ella often, ensuring her progress was steady. Yet even as her health stabilized, Nia couldn't forget the fragility of that early morning when the baby had teetered on the edge of life and death. The weeks after Ella's emergency had been tense, but slowly, the tiny girl grew stronger. Day by day, her once translucent skin took on a healthier hue, and her frail little body began to fill out, shedding the tubes and wires that had once seemed like lifelines. Each time Nia saw her, a sense of quiet pride filled her heart, knowing that this baby, against all odds, was going to make it. Meanwhile, Jade and Thomas Ward remained frequent visitors at the hospital. Their faces, which had once been shadowed with fear and worry, now glowed with cautious optimism. They often stopped by to chat with Nia, bringing her small tokens of gratitude. Coffee, homemade cookies, and handwritten notes expressing their appreciation for her role in Ella's recovery. While these gestures warmed Nia's heart, she always brushed them off with a smile, assuring them she was simply doing her job. One afternoon, just as Nia was finishing her shift, she noticed Jade sitting alone in the waiting area outside the NICU. Her usual warm demeanor was absent, replaced by a deep, quiet sadness. Concerned, Nia approached her, gently resting a hand on her shoulder. "Jade, is everything okay?" she asked softly. Jade looked up, her eyes rimmed with tears she hadn't yet allowed to fall. "Nia," she whispered, her voice trembling, "we're being discharged tomorrow. Ella's strong enough to go home." Nia smiled, her heart swelling with pride for the little fighter. "That's incredible news. Ella's made amazing progress." But Jade didn't smile. Instead, she clasped her hands together, her fingers twisting nervously. It's a miracle, really. But her voice trailed off, and she bit her lip, as though unsure whether she should continue. Nia crouched beside her, her tone soft and inviting. "You can tell me, Jade. What's on your mind?" Jade hesitated for a moment before the words began to spill out. "We don't know how to thank you, Nia. You saved our baby's life. If it weren't for you that day, Ella wouldn't be here. And yet, I feel like we can never do enough to show you how much you mean to us. I'm terrified that when we leave, you'll just become a memory, and we'll never be able to repay you for what you did." The raw emotion in Jade's voice touched something deep within Nia. She had seen this sentiment before, families who felt indebted to her and the medical staff for saving their loved ones. But in Jade's words, there was something more, a deeper need for connection beyond the walls of the hospital. Nia took a deep breath and squeezed Jade's hand gently. "Jade, you don't owe me anything. The greatest gift I could ever ask for is seeing Ella healthy and happy. That's all the thanks I need." Jade wiped away a stray tear, but the uncertainty in her expression remained. "But you've done so much. I feel like we need to give back, somehow." Nia smiled warmly. "You've already given me something priceless. You trusted me with your daughter's life. That trust means more to me than anything else." Before Jade could respond, Thomas arrived, holding a small pink blanket in his hands. He had a soft smile on his face, but there was an undercurrent of tension in his eyes that mirrored his wife's. He knelt beside Jade and handed her the blanket, gently wrapping it around her shoulders. "We've been talking," Thomas said quietly, "about what you mean to us, Nia, and we know there's nothing we can ever do to fully repay you, but we'd like to try. Not just today or tomorrow, but whenever you need us. We want to be there for you, just like you were there for Ella." Nia's heart swelled at their sincerity. She had grown close to the wards during Ella's stay in the hospital, but she had never expected anything in return. Her entire career had been built on caring for others without expecting rewards. Simply knowing she had made a difference was enough. But hearing their words, she realized that what Jade and Thomas were offering was more than just gratitude. They were offering friendship, a bond that could transcend the boundaries of patient and caregiver. Tears filled Nia's eyes, and she smiled softly at the couple. "Thank you," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "Your words mean more than I can express. I'll never forget Ella or either of you." The three of them sat there for a moment, wrapped in the quiet understanding of how their lives had been intertwined by fate. Little did any of them know, this was just the beginning. As the weeks turned into months, Nia often found herself thinking about Ella and her family. The wards had sent her occasional updates, pictures of Ella growing stronger and healthier at home. But life in the NICU was relentless, and Nia soon found herself swept up in the demands of new patients, each one a tiny soul in need of her care. Still, there was something about the ward's words that lingered in her heart. Their offer to be there for her, whenever she needed them, wasn't something she took lightly. In her career, Nia had grown accustomed to being the rock for others. Rarely did anyone offer to be her rock in return. It was a strange and unfamiliar feeling, but one that comforted her in ways she hadn't expected. Months after Ella's discharge, on a particularly grueling night shift, Nia found herself sitting in the break room once again, her body aching from the long hours. As she sipped on a lukewarm cup of coffee, her thoughts drifted back to the wards. She wondered how Ella was doing now, imagining her as a chubby-cheeked toddler, full of life and laughter. Just then, her phone buzzed. Nia glanced at the screen, surprised to see a message from Jade. "Jade. Hey Nia, it's been a while. We hope you're doing well. We've been thinking about you and wanted to know if you're free this weekend. We'd love to have you over for dinner if you're available." Nia smiled, her exhaustion momentarily forgotten. It wasn't uncommon for families to reach out after their time in the NICU, but rarely did they maintain such a personal connection. She hesitated for a moment, wondering if it would be strange to accept their invitation. But then she remembered the promise they had made, their desire to show her gratitude in any way they could. With a quick tap on her phone, Nia responded, "Nia, I'd love to. See you then." Little did she know, that dinner would mark the beginning of a new chapter in her life, one filled with unexpected blessings and a repayment she could never have imagined. New beginnings. The weekend arrived with a refreshing breeze, the kind that heralded the start of autumn. Nia Johnson adjusted the collar of her favorite sweater, standing in front of the mirror and taking a deep breath. She was excited but also nervous about dinner with the wards. It felt different, this transition from caregiver to friend. Would it feel awkward? Would they reminisce about Ella's stay in the NICU, or would they focus on their new life outside of the hospital? After a moment of contemplation, she shook off her worries. This was an opportunity to celebrate life and the bonds they had formed. Nia grabbed her keys and made her way to her car, the sun setting in a blaze of orange and gold as she drove toward the ward's neighborhood. The warmth of the setting sun matched the warmth she felt in her heart, eager to reconnect with the family she had grown to care for. As she pulled into the ward's driveway, Nia noticed a wooden swing set in the yard, the bright colors of the toys contrasting sharply with the golden leaves scattered on the ground. The sight tugged at her heartstrings, reminding her of Ella's strength and resilience during those harrowing weeks in the NICU. She stepped out of her car, her excitement palpable as she walked up to the front door, where a welcome mat lay invitingly. Jade answered the door, her face lighting up with a bright smile. "Nia, you made it," she exclaimed, pulling Nia into a warm hug. "It's great to see you, Jade," Nia replied, feeling a wave of comfort wash over her. "Come in. We've got dinner almost ready. Ella is so excited to see you." Jade ushered Nia inside, and the familiar scent of home-cooked food enveloped her, making her stomach rumble. The cozy atmosphere of their living room, adorned with family photos and colorful artwork, made her feel immediately at ease. "Where's my little hero?" Nia asked, scanning the room for Ella. "Right here," came a cheerful voice, and little Ella burst into the room, her chubby cheeks flushed with excitement. She ran straight toward Nia, arms outstretched. Nia crouched down, wrapping her arms around the toddler. "Hello, beautiful. Look at you. You've gotten so big," she exclaimed, her heart swelling with joy as she hugged the child tightly. Ella giggled, and the sound was like music to Nia's ears. "Ella has been talking about you all week," Thomas said, joining them with a playful grin. "I think you've made quite the impression on her." "Only good things, I hope," Nia chuckled, tussling Ella's curly hair. Jade glanced over her shoulder as she stirred something on the stove. "I hope you're hungry. I made your favorite, chicken Alfredo with garlic bread." "Sounds delicious," Nia replied, trying not to drool at the thought. As they moved to the dining table, Ella climbed onto a booster seat, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. Nia settled down beside her, the warmth of the family dynamic enveloping her. The table was adorned with a simple but inviting spread of food, and the atmosphere felt electric with excitement and laughter. Over dinner, they shared stories about their lives. Jade spoke about her challenges as a new mother, and Thomas recounted amusing moments of parenthood. Nia shared snippets of her life as a nurse, painting a picture of the unpredictable and often chaotic world of the NICU. Ella chimed in now and then, her innocent comments eliciting laughter and tender smiles. "Do you remember the day you saved my life?" Ella asked suddenly, her wide eyes full of sincerity. Jade and Thomas exchanged amused glances. "Ella, you were just a baby then," Thomas said gently, but Nia's heart melted at the child's innocent inquiry. "I'll never forget that day," Nia replied, her voice softening. "You were so brave, little one. You fought so hard. You still do." The warmth of the room, filled with laughter and love, made Nia realize how much she had missed genuine human connection outside of the hospital. The wards were not just a family she had cared for. They had become friends, sharing their lives and building something beautiful together. After dinner, Jade brought out a homemade dessert, apple pie, still warm from the oven. The aroma filled the air as she served generous slices, and the sweetness of the pie complemented the rich flavors of the dinner. As they savored the dessert, their conversations flowed effortlessly. "By the way, Nia," Jade began, wiping her mouth with a napkin, "we've been thinking about ways to show you our appreciation. You mean so much to us, and we'd like to do something special for you." Nia waved her hands, shaking her head modestly. "Really, you don't have to. Just seeing Ella happy and healthy is more than enough for me." "But we want to," Thomas insisted, leaning forward. "You made a huge impact on our lives during a time when we were completely lost. We believe in paying it forward." Nia's heart raced. It was surreal to hear the wards talk about gratitude in such deep terms. They had already shown her kindness through their friendship, but now they were suggesting doing something more. "Honestly, you've already done so much just by inviting me here tonight," Nia replied. This means more than I can express." Jade reached across the table, squeezing Nia's hand. "We want to help you in some way. You're always giving, always caring for others. Let us do something for you." Nia felt a mix of emotions, happiness, gratitude, and a tinge of discomfort. She had spent so many years focused on caring for others that the idea of receiving care herself was foreign. But there was something genuine in Jade's eyes, a determination to express their appreciation. "How about this?" Nia proposed, a smile creeping onto her face. "Instead of doing something for me, how about we plan a monthly get-together? I could use more friends, and I think Ella would love to spend time with her hero." Jade's face lit up with excitement. "That sounds perfect. We'd love that." Nia's suggestion not only lightened the mood but also created an opportunity for their bond to grow deeper. They spent the rest of the evening sharing stories and laughter, forging connections that transcended the roles they had once held in each other's lives. As the night came to an end, Nia stood at the door, her heart full as she hugged Ella goodbye. "You're going to be such a big girl, I just know it," she whispered to the little girl, who squeezed her tightly. "I love you, Nia," Ella declared, and Nia felt a lump in her throat as she absorbed the pure affection in those words. "I love you too, sweetheart," Nia replied, feeling a warmth spread through her. As she drove home that night, Nia couldn't shake the feeling of gratitude that settled over her like a soft blanket. For the first time in a long while, she felt a sense of belonging, a reminder that she was part of something bigger, of community that extended beyond the walls of the hospital. Little did she know, this new chapter was just beginning. The ward's offer of friendship would soon lead her on a journey filled with unexpected blessings, and the ripples of their gratitude would touch her life in ways she could never have imagined. Unforeseen changes. The days turned into weeks, and the rhythm of Nia's life began to shift in unexpected ways. Each month, like clockwork, she would find herself at the ward's home for their get-togethers. Sometimes it was a simple dinner, other times a movie night filled with laughter and popcorn. Each encounter further strengthened the bond she had formed with Jade, Thomas, and little Ella. Nia had become more than just a nurse. She was now part of their family, sharing in their joys and sorrows. One crisp Saturday afternoon, Nia arrived at the ward's home, a basket of freshly baked muffins in hand. As she walked up the familiar path, she felt a sense of anticipation flutter in her chest. Today was special. Jade had mentioned wanting to discuss something important. "Hey, Nia." Ella's voice rang out as soon as the door swung open. She was dressed in a bright pink tutu, twirling around like a little ballerina. "Look at you, beautiful," Nia exclaimed, bending down to give Ella a warm hug. "You're going to dance your way into the spotlight." "Dancing is my superpower," Ella declared proudly, giggling as she wobbled a little in her excitement. As they settled into the living room, Nia felt at home, surrounded by the warm ambience of their family. The sunlight streamed through the windows, casting a golden glow on the walls adorned with photos of Ella growing up. "Jade, you're looking radiant," Nia complimented as Jade entered the room, a sparkle of excitement in her eyes. "Thanks, Nia. I'm so glad you're here. I wanted to talk to you about something really exciting," Jade said, her voice bubbling with enthusiasm. Nia set the basket down on the coffee table and took a seat, curiosity piquing. "What's going on?" "Well," Jade began, "Thomas and I have been discussing a charity event for the NICU at our local hospital. We want to raise awareness about the importance of neonatal care and also to give back to the unit that helped Ella and so many other babies like her." Nia felt a rush of emotions as she listened. "That sounds incredible. How can I help?" Jade smiled, her eyes sparkling. "We were hoping you'd be our guest of honor. You could share your experiences, the challenges and triumphs you see every day. You have a unique perspective, and we believe your story could inspire others." Nia's heart raced at the thought of being in the spotlight. "Me? I'm not sure I'm the right person for that. I'm just a nurse doing my job." "Exactly," Thomas chimed in, leaning forward with an earnest expression. "You do your job with such passion and love. You've touched so many lives, including ours. It would mean a lot for you to share your journey, to show how critical this work is." Nia felt a wave of humility wash over her. It was true that her job was a calling, but she had never considered her experiences as something worth sharing on a larger scale. "I don't know, guys. What if I mess up? What if I can't find the right words?" Jade reached out, taking Nia's hand gently. "You won't mess up. Just speak from your heart. That's what people connect with. Your honesty and compassion will shine through, just like they always do." Nia took a deep breath, weighing the possibility against her fears. "Okay, I'll do it. But I'll need your help with the preparations. I'm not great at public speaking." "Deal," Jade replied, clapping her hands together in excitement. "We'll plan everything together. This is going to be amazing." As they dove into planning the charity event, Nia found herself becoming more excited than anxious. The thought of sharing her journey and helping others understand the importance of neonatal care invigorated her. She envisioned the faces of parents who, like Jade and Thomas, had been through unimaginable heartache and fear. If she could provide even a sliver of hope, it would be worth every ounce of effort. Over the next few weeks, the trio worked tirelessly to bring the charity event to life. They reached out to local businesses for donations, gathered volunteers, and planned activities for families to enjoy. Nia felt a renewed sense of purpose, a spark igniting her soul as she poured her heart into this endeavor. One evening, after a long day at work, Nia received a text from Jade. "Big news. We just secured a local news station to cover the event. Let's meet to discuss how we'll present it to the community." Nia's stomach fluttered at the thought of being on camera. It was one thing to speak to a crowd, but being on TV felt like an entirely different challenge. Yet there was an exhilarating thrill that accompanied her nerves. When they gathered at the Ward's home that weekend, the atmosphere was electric. Ella bounced around the living room, excitedly asking if she could help with decorations. Jade and Thomas brainstormed ways to incorporate a silent auction, hoping to raise funds for the NICU, while also showcasing local artisans. As the discussion unfolded, Nia felt more inspired than ever. She envisioned a space filled with hope and joy, a day where families could come together, share their stories, and support one another. She thought about all the babies in the NICU, fighting for their lives, and how much the support from the community could mean to those families. "Let's include a thank you wall," Nia suggested. "We can have a space where families can write notes of gratitude to the NICU staff, sharing their experiences and the impact our work has had on their lives." "Brilliant idea," Jade exclaimed. "That will be a beautiful way to honor the staff and show how much they mean to us." As they finalized their plans, Nia felt a sense of camaraderie and excitement blossom. She was no longer just a nurse. She was part of a movement, a force for change. The day of the charity event arrived, and the air buzzed with anticipation. Nia stood backstage, her heart racing as she listened to the sounds of laughter and chatter echoing from the main hall. The vibrant decorations, the colorful banners announcing the event, and the aroma of food wafting through the air created an atmosphere of celebration. "Are you ready?" Jade asked, peeking through the curtain. "No," Nia admitted with a nervous laugh. "But I'm trying to be." "You've got this. Just remember to breathe," Thomas added, giving her a reassuring nod. As Nia stepped onto the stage, the crowd turned to face her, a wave of warmth washing over her as she saw familiar faces and strangers alike. She cleared her throat, feeling the weight of their expectations, but also the power of their shared experiences. "Hi, everyone," Nia began, her voice steady despite the fluttering in her chest. "I'm Nia Johnson, and I'm a nurse in the NICU. I want to thank you all for being here today. Each of you represents hope and resilience, and together we can make a difference in the lives of so many families." The audience listened intently as she shared her journey, recounting stories of babies who had fought bravely for their lives and the families who had stood by them. She spoke about the importance of community, of compassion, and the shared responsibility to care for one another. As she finished her speech, Nia felt a swell of emotion. The applause that erupted felt like a warm embrace, a reminder that her words had resonated. She had stepped out of her comfort zone, and in doing so, she had found a new part of herself, a voice that could inspire hope and healing. After the event, as families mingled, Nia caught sight of Jade and Thomas surrounded by a group of parents, sharing laughter and stories. Ella rushed up to her, her tiny hands clutching a crayon-drawn picture of Nia in her nurse's scrubs, complete with a heart next to it. "You're my hero," Ella declared proudly, and Nia knelt down to hug her tightly, her heart swelling with love. In that moment, surrounded by laughter and warmth, Nia realized how profoundly her life had changed. She had stepped into a world where her compassion could ignite change, and where gratitude could flow freely, connecting people in ways she had never imagined. The wards had opened a door for her, and she was ready to embrace every opportunity that lay ahead. As the event drew to a close, Nia felt an undeniable sense of fulfillment. She knew that this was only the beginning of a new chapter, one where she could continue to grow, learn, and make a difference in the world around her. Little did she know that the ripples of gratitude she had ignited would soon lead to an even more unexpected twist in her journey, one that would change her life forever. A call to action. As Nia settled back into her routine after the charity event, the world around her felt different. The vibrant energy of the gathering still lingered in her heart, fueling her desire to advocate for neonatal care and support families navigating the challenges of the NICU. The connection she had formed with the wards inspired her to reach out to other families who had shared similar experiences, hoping to create a community where they could share their stories and support one another. One evening, after a particularly demanding shift, Nia plopped down on her couch, exhausted yet exhilarated. She grabbed her phone and began scrolling through social media. Inspired by the recent event, she created a dedicated page for families who had experienced the NICU journey, inviting them to share their stories, photos, and words of encouragement. To her surprise, the response was overwhelming. In a matter of days, her page attracted hundreds of followers, each eager to contribute their own tales of resilience. Families shared heartfelt messages, some recounting the hardest days of their lives, while others celebrated milestones achieved against all odds. Nia felt a surge of gratitude and purpose. Amidst the flood of stories, a message caught her eye. "Hey Nia, my name is Olivia, and I'm a single mother of a preemie. I stumbled upon your page and was moved by your compassion. I'd love to connect." Nia wasted no time responding. "Hi Olivia. Thank you for reaching out. I'd love to connect. How is your little one doing?" They quickly arranged a video call, and when they finally spoke, Nia was struck by Olivia's warmth and determination. Olivia shared her story, recounting the challenges of having a premature baby while juggling her responsibilities as a single mother. "Some days, I feel like I'm drowning," Olivia admitted, her voice trembling slightly. "But I keep pushing because my little boy, Liam, is worth it." Moved by her resilience, Nia offered words of encouragement. "You're doing an incredible job, Olivia. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, but remember you're not alone. We can support each other." Their conversation flowed easily, and soon they found themselves discussing practical tips for navigating the NICU, managing anxiety, and the importance of self-care. Nia felt an undeniable connection with Olivia, a shared understanding born from their experiences. They decided to collaborate on a series of virtual support meetings where families could come together to share their journeys and provide one another with encouragement. As the weeks went by, their support meetings gained traction, drawing in families from all walks of life. Nia felt a sense of fulfillment watching these individuals come together, united by their shared experiences. Each meeting was filled with laughter, tears, and heartfelt stories that bound them together like a tapestry of resilience. Nia also continued her advocacy efforts, sharing insights about neonatal care with her online community. She began crafting educational posts about common challenges families face in the NICU, the emotional toll it can take, and how to cope with the uncertainty. She encouraged parents to voice their concerns and questions, fostering an open dialogue that empowered them to take an active role in their child's care. One sunny afternoon, while Nia was at work, she received a call from Jade. "Hey Nia, how are you? I have some exciting news to share." Nia's heart raced at Jade's enthusiasm. "What's going on?" "We've been contacted by a local hospital group that wants to partner with us on expanding the NICU support program. They were inspired by the charity event and the community you've built. They'd love to collaborate with you on workshops and resources for families." Nia could hardly contain her excitement. "That's incredible. What do they have in mind?" "They're looking to create workshops where we can provide families with practical tools for navigating the NICU experience, along with emotional support. They want to include you as a key speaker. This is an amazing opportunity to reach even more families." Tears of joy welled up in Nia's eyes. "I can't believe this is happening. Thank you so much for believing in me, Jade. You've done the hard work, Nia. You've built this community from the ground up. You deserve this opportunity," Jade said, her voice filled with pride. As Nia hung up the phone, she felt a whirlwind of emotions. The idea of expanding her reach, helping even more families navigate the often turbulent waters of the NICU, filled her with a sense of purpose. This was the culmination of everything she had worked for, and it felt like the universe was aligning to support her mission. Over the next few weeks, Nia worked closely with Jade and the hospital representatives to finalize the details of the workshops. They developed an engaging curriculum that included topics like understanding medical terminology, coping strategies for anxiety, and how to advocate for their child's care. They also incorporated interactive sessions where families could share their stories and connect on a deeper level. On the day of the first workshop, Nia stood at the front of the room, a mixture of excitement and nerves fluttering in her stomach. Families filled the seats, each one with a unique story to tell. As she looked around, she saw familiar faces from her online community alongside new ones, each representing a journey of strength and resilience. "Welcome, everyone," Nia greeted, her voice steady as she stepped into her role as facilitator. "I'm so grateful you're all here today. My hope is that this space feels safe for you to share, learn, and connect." The workshop unfolded beautifully, filled with laughter, shared stories, and supportive discussions. Nia led sessions on various topics, encouraging open dialogue and questions. Parents shared their experiences, fostering connections that rippled through the room. As the first workshop came to a close, Nia felt a profound sense of accomplishment. She watched as families exchanged contact information and promised to stay in touch, forming bonds that would provide ongoing support. In the days that followed, the momentum of the workshops continued to grow. Nia received messages from families expressing their gratitude and enthusiasm for the program. They began sharing the impact the workshops had on their lives, reinforcing Nia's belief in the importance of community and connection during such challenging times. One evening, as Nia prepared for bed, she received a message from Olivia. "Hey Nia, I wanted to share some incredible news. Liam is finally coming home next week." Nia felt a wave of joy wash over her. "That's amazing, Olivia. I can't wait to hear all about it. You've been so strong throughout this journey. I really couldn't have done it without you and our group. You've given me so much hope. I want to plan a little celebration for Liam's homecoming. Would you come?" Nia's heart swelled at the invitation. "Of course. I wouldn't miss it for the world." As the date approached, Nia helped Olivia prepare for the celebration, offering her advice and assistance in decorating and organizing the gathering. She wanted to ensure Liam's homecoming was filled with joy and love, a reflection of the journey they had all shared. When the day finally arrived, Nia stepped into Olivia's home, a bouquet of flowers in hand. The house was filled with colorful decorations, balloons, and the sweet scent of baked goods wafting through the air. Families arrived, each bringing their own dishes and stories to share. As Nia mingled, she watched Olivia with her son, who was now finally home. The smile on Olivia's face radiated pure joy, and Nia couldn't help but feel a swell of pride. This moment was a testament to their journey, a reminder that hope and love can thrive even in the darkest of times. Later in the evening, Nia gathered everyone for a toast. "I just wanted to take a moment to express how grateful I am to be a part of this incredible community. Each of you has shown immense strength and resilience, and it's an honor to witness your journeys." As glasses were raised, Nia felt the bonds between them grow stronger. The warmth of camaraderie enveloped her, filling her heart with gratitude for the path that had led her here. As the night progressed, laughter and joy echoed through the home. Nia realized how far she had come since her initial journey as a nurse in the NICU. The connections she had forged and the impact she had made on families were immeasurable. But as the evening drew to a close, Nia received a text from Jade. "Can we talk? There's something I need to discuss with you." A flicker of curiosity ignited within Nia. What could it be? She made her way to her phone, typing back quickly, "Of course. I'm home now. What's up?" As she waited for Jade's reply, Nia couldn't shake the feeling that her life was on the verge of another significant change. Whatever was coming next, she was ready to embrace it with open arms. Little did she know, it would be a turning point that would bring her even closer to the wards and deepen the roots of their shared journey in ways she could never have anticipated. A new beginning. As Nia prepared for bed that night, her thoughts raced with excitement and curiosity about Jade's message. She had experienced so much growth and transformation over the past year, and now she could sense that something significant was about to unfold. The next morning, as the sunlight filtered through her window, Nia's phone buzzed with a message from Jade. "Hey, can we meet at the cafe this afternoon? I want to discuss some potential opportunities." Nia's heart skipped a beat. What kind of opportunities could Jade be talking about? She quickly replied, "Sure. I'll see you at 2 p.m. The hours dragged on as Nia navigated her shift at the hospital, anticipation building inside her. Her mind wandered to the connection she had forged with families like Olivia's, the support groups she had initiated, and the way she had turned her passion for nursing into a lifeline for others. But what more could she do? When she arrived at the cafe, Nia spotted Jade sitting at a corner table, a steaming cup of coffee in front of her. As Nia approached, Jade's face lit up with a bright smile, instantly putting Nia at ease. "Thanks for meeting me, Nia," Jade exclaimed, motioning for her to sit. "I'm so excited to share what I've been working on." Nia settled into her chair, eager to hear what Jade had to say. "What's going on?" Jade leaned forward, her voice filled with enthusiasm. "You know how we've been running the workshops and support groups for NICU families. Well, I've been in talks with the hospital's administration about formalizing our program. They see the impact we're making and want to expand it into a comprehensive support system." Nia's eyes widened in disbelief. "Are you serious? That's amazing. What does that mean for us?" "It means we could create a full-fledged NICU support network," Jade explained. "We'd have dedicated staff to help with family counseling, peer support, educational resources, and even workshops on mental health and wellness. They want us to lead this initiative." Nia felt a rush of excitement wash over her. This could be a game changer for so many families. We could really make a difference. Jade nodded, her eyes sparkling. "Exactly. They want you to take a leadership role in this. They're impressed with how you've engaged the community and the passion you bring. They believe you can help shape the vision for the program." Nia's heart swelled with pride and gratitude. This opportunity felt like the culmination of everything she had worked for, the perfect chance to expand her reach and impact even more lives. "I would love to, Jade. I want to be there for families like Olivia's, to provide the support I wished I could have given them during their darkest moments." As they discussed the details, Nia felt a sense of purpose that had been ignited within her. She envisioned the countless families who would benefit from their efforts, the support network that could be built, and the legacy they would create together. Over the next few weeks, Naya and Jade collaborated with the hospital's administration to flesh out the program. They organized brainstorming sessions with staff and families, gathering input and ideas to ensure they addressed the needs of the community. The more they engaged, the more inspired Nia became. She could see the vision of a nurturing support system coming to life. Finally, the day arrived for their official launch event. The hospital had transformed its community room into a welcoming space filled with banners, informational booths, and smiling faces eager to support the initiative. Naya stood at the front, her heart racing with anticipation, as she looked out over the crowd of families, nurses, and hospital staff gathered to celebrate this new chapter. "Thank you all for being here today," Nia began, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "Today marks the beginning of a new journey for our NICU families, a journey built on support, compassion, and connection." The crowd erupted in applause, and Nia felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. She continued to share her vision for the program, highlighting the importance of community, connection, and hope during challenging times. As she spoke, she scanned the audience, her gaze landing on Olivia and Liam, who had come to show their support. They smiled at her, their eyes filled with pride. It was moments like these that fueled Nia's passion and reminded her why she had chosen this path. After the presentation, families mingled, sharing their stories and experiences while learning about the resources available to them through the new program. Nia moved from group to group, engaging with attendees, answering questions, and fostering connections. One mother approached her, tears in her eyes. "Thank you for creating this space, Nia. I felt so alone in the NICU, but knowing there's support here means everything." Nia hugged her gently. "You're not alone anymore. We're here for you, and together, we'll make it through this." As the event wrapped up, Nia felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The initiative had officially launched, and it was clear that it would bring hope and support to countless families navigating the challenges of the NICU. In the months that followed, the program flourished. Nia and Jade continued to work tirelessly, developing workshops, support groups, and resources tailored to the unique needs of families. They invited guest speakers, held family-friendly events, and even established a mentorship program connecting experienced NICU families with those currently facing similar challenges. As Nia's commitment to her work deepened, she found herself becoming more than just a nurse. She was a beacon of hope and inspiration for families in their darkest hours. The bonds she formed with families like the Wards and the countless others she met filled her heart with joy. One day, during a support group session, Nia noticed a familiar face in the crowd. A father she recognized from the NICU sat quietly, his eyes brimming with emotions as he listened to the other families share their stories. After the session, Nia approached him. "Hi there. I remember you from the NICU. How is your little one doing now?" He smiled, albeit a little hesitantly. "She's doing much better. We're home now, but I still carry a lot of the worries and fears from that time." Nia nodded, her heart swelling with empathy. "It's completely normal to feel that way. Would you be interested in sharing your story? It might help others who are feeling the same." The father's expression shifted, a flicker of hope igniting in his eyes. "I thought about it, but never had the courage. Maybe it's time I share my journey." "Absolutely. You're not alone in this. Together, we can help others find their strength too." Nia encouraged, her words filled with genuine warmth. As they chatted further, Nia could sense that this was more than just a conversation. It was an opportunity for healing. Each story shared in their support groups created ripples of change, fostering resilience and hope among families who felt isolated in their struggles. One afternoon, as Nia was leaving the hospital, she spotted Olivia and Liam waiting for her outside. "We're here to surprise you," Olivia exclaimed, her smile radiant. Nia raised an eyebrow, curiosity piqued. "What's the surprise?" Olivia revealed a beautifully framed photo collage showcasing moments from their journey together. The first time Liam was wheeled out of the NICU, family gatherings, and heartwarming milestones. "We wanted to thank you for everything you've done for us," Olivia said, her voice thick with emotion. "You were there for us during our darkest moments, and we're forever grateful." Nia's heart swelled as she took in the college, each photo a testament to their shared journey. "Thank you so much, Olivia. This means the world to me." In that moment, Nia realized the true power of her work, the connections, the shared stories, and the strength they drew from one another. She understood that she wasn't just a nurse. She was a vital part of a community, a lifeline for families navigating the complexities of the NICU. As the seasons changed, so did the program. It grew into a thriving community of support, love, and resilience. Families came together, sharing their experiences, creating friendships, and fostering hope for those still in the trenches. Nia found herself reflecting on her journey, how far she had come since her early days in the NICU. The challenges she had faced had only deepened her resolve to advocate for families and provide the support she wished she could have given them. And as Nia looked toward the future, she knew this was just the beginning. She envisioned a world where every family felt supported, loved, and empowered to navigate their unique journeys. With her community by her side, she felt ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. As the sun set on another day, casting a golden hue across the horizon, Nia stood at her window, a sense of peace enveloping her. She whispered a silent thank you for the journey she had undertaken and the family she had met along the way. Each story they shared, each moment they celebrated together, had brought her closer to her true purpose. And as she closed her eyes that night, she felt a deep sense of gratitude for the lives she had touched and the love that would continue to grow in their shared community, a testament to the power of compassion, connection, and the enduring strength of the human spirit.